Welcome guys back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We've got a huge load of breaking news and we could have quite a few videos today depending on what Arsenal do in the transfer market. We could have Gabriel Magalhaes' announcement video dropping today. We might even do an extra Arsenal Transfer News Daily, so make sure you stay tuned today as we could have quite a lot of content today. But the first piece of news is that Arsenal right back Hector Bellerin has apparently been offered to Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain have been offered Arsenal's Hector Bellerin, with the Ligue champions on the lookout for a right back according to reports in France. Mikel Arteta is in the process of overseeing a complete squad overhaul, as it suggests here, as he aims to get the Gunners back to the top. After finishing outside of the top 6 in the Premier League for the first time in 25 years, it is clear to see how far the North London club have declined in recent years. Arteta has provided his former side with a spark of hope by beginning to instill a stronger mentality in the squad. Despite a poor league finish, he still managed to guide Arsenal to their record 14th FA Cup victory over Chelsea. Gabriel Magalhaes is set to become Arsenal's second major signing of the summer after the capture of Willian on a free transfer. In order to raise funds for the more incomings, it is likely they'll have to sell a number of players, and according to RMC Sport, Bellerin is one of those players who will be likely to leave the club, and his services have been offered to Paris Saint-Germain. The Ligue champions are in the market for a right back and currently exploring several options to improve the position. Thomas Tuchel's side missed out on their first major European trophy after their narrow 1-0 defeat to Bayern Munich in the Champions League final on Sunday. Despite their loss, the French club looked to be heading in the right direction and are a more attractive option for incoming players. Bellerin is yet to get back to his best after rupturing his ACL back in January 2019, and after suffering a hamstring problem last season has made just 15 appearances in the Premier League 1920 campaign. However, now Ainsley MaitlandNiles looks like he's going to go to Wolves. We'll cover this news in a bit later down this Transfer News Daily. But with Hector Bellerin, it looks like he could be leaving. Now, Paris Saint-Germain haven't come back to Arsenal to say whether they accept or reject Hector Bellerin, because they're actually seriously thinking about signing Hector Bellerin. Now, to me, this is huge music to my ears. Huge music to my ears. Bellerin has just not been good enough over the last few months, over the last few years even, and he just hasn't been good enough since his ACL injury. We've given too many chances to him. I think now is the right time to let him go. Now, we are also letting go another right back in Ainsley MaitlandNiles, which we'll cover in a bit. But letting go of Bellerin and Niles could mean we could go into the market for another right back. Now, right backs that we have been linked with, Max Aarons could be one. I really rate Max Aarons. If you have been watching my Arsenal Transfer News Daily for quite a while, I really do think someone like Max Aarons could really help us moving forward. Max Aarons obviously playing at Norwich, now relegated, now in the Championship, and he looks set to be on a move. Now, I don't know what the price would be for Max Aarons, around between 20 to 30 million, but if we can raise that much for Hector Bellerin, I think we could use that money to go and sign someone like him. And it looks like we are just going to go with the two right backs, because if we do offload Ainsley MaitlandNiles and Bellerin, we'll just be left with Cedric, and he only looks like to be a backup to someone who we could bring in. He could be a backup to one of those players like Max Aarons, but it remains to be seen. But again, what do you guys think about Hector Bellerin going to Paris Saint-Germain? I think this is perfect. This is perfect, man. Just get rid of Hector Bellerin. I think he's a player that we can get decent cash for, between 25 to 35 million pounds. Looks like the price range for Hector Bellerin, which I think, again, is quite a lot of money for someone who is quite overrated, in my opinion. He is very overrated. Once in a few games, he'll have a good performance and actually cross a ball, like probably he did in the FA Cup final against Chelsea, where he made that really good running forward and to create that goal for Aubameyang, who ended up scoring the winning goal in that game. But again, Hector Bellerin, he's a player, has to be out of the door and has been linked to Paris Saint-Germain today. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below. The next bit of news is on Gabriel Magalhaes. As I said earlier, the deal's done. It's all done. The deal is done, guys. Don't worry, guys. All done. Medical's done. He will sign for Arsenal today. I'm pretty sure by the time this video comes out, he could even be announced, and my announcement video is also dropped. But guys, Gabriel Magalhaes has been he is an Arsenal player. But the main news I wanted to say today is that he will have to quarantine. Now, if you don't know about what's going on, the France have been added to England's 14-day quarantine list. But if you guys are a bit confused as to why he's been allowed to have his medical, that is why. This is because apparently Arsenal have been given permission for Gabriel to have the medical, but then he has to go into a 14-day quarantine, which in my opinion makes absolutely no sense, because how has he been allowed to do the medical at Arsenal, take all the photographs with Arsenal today, but then have to go into a 14-day quarantine? I just don't get it. But it does look like he will go into a 2-week quarantine, which will be a huge blow for Arsenal, because they won't be able to use him in the Community Shield. If I look at the calendar right now, when will the 2 weeks end? Suggesting the 2 week starts today. The 2 weeks will go into the 8th of September, which is just before the season starts, and the weekend on Saturday the 12th, where we do play Fulham. So he'll be back in time for that Fulham game, but he does miss a bit of pre-season, which again will be a huge blow to Mikel Arteta's side. Now this is confirmed news that Gabriel will have to quarantine. This was confirmed by Sky Sports, who did obviously do some investigation and ask the government whether this is the case with transfers. People might think, why Liverpool? Because Australia are in the quarantine list. Well, Liverpool, there's a team exemption because they're playing actual matches, but transfers, Gabriel will unfortunately have to quarantine after making his move to Arsenal. Big blow for Arsenal, huge blow, but again, it's just how the world is working at the moment. You just have to accept it. So that is the news, that Gabriel will 100% have to quarantine for 2 weeks after making his move to Arsenal. Next bit of news is on Ainsley MaitlandNiles, and apparently Wolves and Arsenal are in advanced talks over a 4-year deal. Reports suggest Arsenal will let Maitland-Niles go for around £20 million. Wolves are in advanced talks with Arsenal over a 4-year deal for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Wolves manager Nuno Espirito Santo is keen to strengthen both his central midfield and fullback options, and the versatile 22-year-old fits the bill on both accounts. The need for reinforcements has intensified after defender Johnny Otto was sidelined for between 6 and 9 months after injuring his ACL in Wolves' Europa League win against Olympiacos earlier this month. Maitland-Niles has 3 years left on his present deal at the Emirates, but is understood to be surplus to requirements as Mikel Arteta looks to raise funds to build his first team squad. Reports suggest Arsenal will let him go for around £20 million. He played 32 times for Arsenal last season and has represented England under 23, under 17 to under 21 level. He was also part of the England squad that won the under 20 World Cup in 2017. But would he be an ideal fit for Wolves? Sky Sports did suggest that Nuno places huge importance on positional flexibility. Leonardo Dendoncker and Roman Saiz have been used in defence as well as midfield, while Adama Traore has operated on the wing, and Maitland-Niles would fit in well for a player who can be deployed in many positions. He could fit in right back, he could fit in on the left wing back as well, and he could also feature in the centre midfield. Maitland-Niles did produce one of his best performances for Arsenal in their 2-0 win over Wolves. He did really well on covering Adama Traore. He really pocketed him in my opinion, and I think someone like Ainsley Maitland-Niles would be a huge blow for us to let go. Again, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he's one of those I thought he would be staying because Raul Sanheli was the one that was wanting to get him out of the door. Now Raul left, I thought Ainsley would stay because Arteta wanted to keep him, but now Sky Sports are reporting that Mikel Arteta wants to let go of Ainsley Maitland-Niles to fund moves for other players. Now, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, again, the one big thing I like about him is the fact that he's versatile. He can fit on the left wing back, right back, left back, centre mid if you want, right wing as well, right mid as well. So he's a very versatile player who can play pretty much anywhere you want him to, and I think it would be a huge blow letting him go, especially in that sort of versatile sense. But we are letting him go. I think we have to let Bellerin go as well, and then sign another right back who would be the main right back, and then Cedric will cover him, as I said earlier. But I think if we do let go of Bellerin and Maitland-Niles, I think it's quite significant because Arteta is really looking to bolster his squad, and if he does that, it's a real masterstroke in my opinion. But I'm worried that Bellerin will be number one because I think Maitland-Niles is our best right back at the moment, and we are strengthening a team that is above us at the moment, which is Wolves. They did finish above us in 7th position, albeit one position, but still they're a really good side, and we'll be strengthening them with a really good player. And I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he's had a few attitude issues over the last few months, but has regained the trust of Mikel Arteta in the last few weeks as well, obviously with him featuring in the semi-final win against City and in the final win against Chelsea. So again, huge blow in my opinion, and again, so unfortunate. What do you guys think in the comment section down below? Loads of people saying it will be used to fund the party deal. Now, if that is the case, and we are going to sell Bellerin to fund the right back, which means we can use that Maitland-Niles money to go out and sign party, that's very good. But we're not broke, you know. We don't need to be selling important players, versatile players, to go for our number one targets. You know, we're not a broke club. So that is a bit annoying for me. And again, I'm disappointed by this. Definitely disappointed by this. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section down below. So that is the news that Wolves are close to signing Ainsley Maitland-Niles for a deal, £20 million on a 4-year contract. Next bit of news is on Sead Kolasinac, as apparently Sky in Germany are reporting that Sead Kolasinac is keen on a Germany return as Schalke hold talks over a move to bring the left back on loan. Schalke are in initial stages of discussions with Arsenal over a move to bring back left back Sead Kolasinac back to the club, according to reports in Germany. Sky Sports in Germany. The Bosnian made the switch from the Bundesliga outfit to the Emirates in 2017 on a free transfer, but has faced stiff competition for a place in the side over his 3 seasons at the club. With the signing of Kieran Tierney last summer and and the emergence of Bukayo Saka, who filled in really well at left back. Kolasinac has been in and out of the team, and according to Sky Sports Germany, the 27-year-old is not entirely happy in North London and would like to return to the Bundesliga. Initial negotiations have been taking place over a potential loan move in which Kolasinac's wages would be split in half. However, his earnings are still proving to be a sticking point. The defender is on an annual salary of around £7.2 million a year, while the German club are unwilling to offer anything above 2.2 million, meaning he would need to take a pay cut. In my opinion, I think Kolasinac may take a pay cut because he has quite a bit of family back in Germany, and I think it would be, I think he would take a pay cut to go back to Germany. So I don't think that would be a huge issue for Kolasinac. Elsewhere, Arsenal are going to sign Gabriel, as we all know, and again, Kolasinac, in my opinion, we should let go of him. He's done really nothing this season other than protect Ozil, which has been a meme quite a bit now, but it was quite serious, and Kolasinac did do quite well in that situation. But on the football pitch, he hasn't really done anything, and he basically cost us the North London derby, and any player that costs us the North London derby is not good enough for this football club. And I think Kolasinac, he has been deployed as a centre-back at times. He's done okay in that position at times, but he's just looked out of his depth at some points, like he did in that Spurs game, and I think we have to let him go. But in my opinion, we need to let him go for some cash. I don't care if it's to Schalke or any other club. 20 odd million, that's all we need to put down. I think 20 million for Kolasinac is a very good sum of money, especially when we got him for nothing. We got him for £0, so it'll be 100% profit on him, obviously not with the wages, but you know what I mean with the transfer fee. And I think getting Kolasinac off will be a huge coup, especially when we already have Saka in that position. Well, Saka's not really a left back, but you could possibly bring in someone like Kozawa or basically a Cedric but for the left side. You know what I mean? Someone like that we could just bring in and then keep Tierney there, because Tierney obviously is our number one choice at left back. Or if you want Saka to cover there, that could be an option as well. But again, I think we just need to let Kolasinac go, and it's very good that clubs are now finally interested in some of our dead wood and trying to get that off the wage. In my opinion, don't do a loan deal, just get him off. Try and just do some sort of transfer deal where he takes a pay cut and we get some sort of transfer fee, because I think getting a transfer fee for him would be quite important, especially for us to try and fund moves for the likes of Thomas Partey and other transfer targets we want to go for. So that is the news that Kolasinac has been linked with the move back to Schalke, back to Germany. That is according to Sky Sports Germany. So that is it, guys, for today's Arsenal Transfer News Daily. It has been quite a short one compared to some of the other ones, but we might do another extra Transfer News Daily depending on what news we do get, as I do want to talk about Guendouzi as well. I want to talk about some other moves as well, which we will do later on, and Rafinha has actually been linked, so we'll talk about that later. And if Gabriel does get announced, there will be an announcement video for Gabriel Magalhaes. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.